All right, on the ropes out here with the WBC Youth Welterweight Champion, Jalil Major Hackett, man. You got some good news too, big dog. We got to talk about it, man. The WBC has now ranked you 38 in the world among their top 40, man. They're 8 fights, 7 KOs, man. Talk about that.
And I was definitely, proud of it. It's a job not finished though. 38 is good, but, by the end of next year, we want to be higher than 38.
Me and your dad talked about the journey in 2022, one fight, man. Just talk about that year, just from that year into where we are today as the WBC Youth Champion, your mind state back in 2022, and the journey and the struggle and to where we are today as the WBC Youth Welterweight Champion.
It was definitely tough, fighting only one time that year. Real discouraging because you're a boxer. You get in this game to box. And, for me to only have fought one time throughout that year was real tough. But as down as I got, I never once said like, all right, maybe this ain't it. I always told myself like, yeah, I'm gonna push through this. This whatever's going on right now is happening for a reason.
Was it hard for you when you heard other prospects' names at the time that were being mentioned, and you just like, man, I just can't wait for my time? Because you talked about that, always wait for your time.
Yeah, no, I had an old head tell me that one time. He was like, in certain situations, when you look at it from one aspect, you always gotta think, just don't never hate on somebody else for what they got going on. Because when you got what you got going on, then you take advantage of that. So he always told me, never hate, just wait your turn. So during that time, it was a little discouraging, but I was like, man, when my time comes, it's gonna come.
When those names came across and you decided I'll take that fight, man, what was that like for you, man? Because I was talking with your dad about it, man. A lot of people was like, man, I don't know about taking that fight early. You wanted that fight.
Yeah, I iterated all the time. Like, I know what I'm capable of. So it's like, if you feel like I'm not capable of that, then maybe we need to find some people around that do. But once I let them know, like my dad and my team, once I let them know, like I know what I can do, they was like, all right, well, let's boogie. You think you could do it? If you confident, we even more confident. Let's ride.
Is those conversations behind closed doors? Is that a like y'all butt heads? Like, hey man, I want this fight. I don't care what you say. I want this fight.
At times, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like, he always tell me, like, you the fighter. Like, you gotta live and die with the decisions you make. So once you make a decision to fight a specific person, it's like, all right, we just gotta prepare you.
With that being said, once that did happen and you did what you did to him that nobody else has done, what was those calls like coming in from the people who at first who were like, I don't know about this, to like, damn.
It was more of a confirmation, like, that was, you the truth, like you said you were. Now it's time to build off of it. Like, their mindset was similar to mine, like, all right, this is a good little win, but like, now we gotta go back, we gotta do more. We gotta be better than we was in that fight.
With that being said, Jalil, being ranked 38, there's no going back. So you start to look at the names ahead of you. And the conversation again, going back with your dad, the names you said, outside of Boots, Crawford, Spence.
Everybody else, free game.
Free game.
Yeah, I'm at 38, so from 37 going down, anybody other than them 3 names is free game.
What's that mentality like, man? Where do you get that from?
I think it's something that's been installed in me since a youngin'. Like, if you that, you gotta come show you that. And I'm one of the people that, like, I don't believe what you say you are until you show me that you really on that. So. Do
you attribute that to your early upbringing in the sport of boxing?
Definitely. I always bring it up. Coming up in the gym with the Russells.
Can't think with him, Shawty. You gotta make him output. You can't think with him. Take your right hand out the pocket. You gotta take it out the holster.
Gary Russell Sr., you know, the brothers and all that. It was, you know, it was a dog-eat-dog world in that gym, man. You know, and that went for everybody, you know.
Describe, for people who might not have never been in there, describe that atmosphere like when you step in there.
Like from the little kids all the way to the guys that's at the highest point of the boxing, like Gary Russell Jr. Everybody was in there on the same regimen. Everybody did the same thing. And if you couldn't go through it, get out the gym. Yeah, it was nobody got babied, nobody got coddled, none of that. And I feel like that's what made me the tough fighter that I am. And you know, couple like the toughness with the skill and other things like that, that's a hard fighter to beat.
Who was some of the people that you worked with to prepare for your fight for that WBC youth title at the time?
I got a lot of in-house work, but like the bulk of my rounds came from, and I appreciate him a lot. Jerry Hurd, you know, he really helped me out throughout the camp. You know, pushed me. You know, we got a lot of good rounds in. And after the fight, I let him know, like, I appreciate you. It was so funny. I came home, and like 2 days later, I ran into him at Target. I was like, yeah, nah, man, I really appreciate you. I think he was getting ready for a fight too. He ended up fighting like a week later.
Yeah, I think up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but I had to let him know, like, I appreciate you for all the rounds, man.
What was some of the, you know, insight or words or encouragement that he gave you throughout, you know, that time he was working with you?
He basically he was just telling me all of the things that I kind of already had heard before. He was telling me, like, I've watched you come up in boxing, grow up in the sport. You know, you've been through tougher than tough. You've been in there with the best of the best. So, you know, it's up to you to go out there and show, like, all the hard work you put in. He said, ain't no guy. He said, no guy that you fighting right now is on the level that I'm on. He said, I'm a former unified champion. He said, none of them guys that you're fighting right now is on that level. So you should go out there and dominate them. And I said, man, absolutely right.
Now, I got to talk about Coach Calvin, Coach Kenny, man, because, you know, I went to Up there, man, and talked about you, man. They always got high praise for you, man. I had to ask you about this coach, man, because you've been around him. He's family. Jalil Hackett, man.
Oh, that's from, I just got finished talking to his dad.
Yeah, me too. So, you know, with him, recently just got ranked by the WBC, one of the sanctioning bodies, ranked 38 in the world. You know, they only do the top 40, I think, anyway. So
he's in there.
38 with 8 fights, Coach, man. I got to get your thoughts on that.
Well, Jalil is Jalil. Jalil raised up with us. You know what I'm saying? Just keep your eyes on youngin. Keep your eyes on. He got a good system in place. The system is tight. His family, father, you know. I call his dad. His dad said, that's your son too, you know. I call him Jalil. Jalil here. And one thing what I love about Jalil, he said, man, when I get with y'all, I'm learning, you know. Jalil, that's my little secret weapon right there.
All right, Coach Kid, I got to ask you about this.
What's that?
Your youngster, Jalil, top 38 in the world, man.
Jalil Hackett next up. Let me tell you something. I seen that boy run a lot of people about that ring. I ain't calling no names, but Al Hammond needs to do his research, find out who the real dog is. Jalil Hackett, man,
Only 8 fights.
20 years old, man.
20 years old, 8 fights.
You can bet on that. You can bet on that kid because he's gonna be there every round. He coming out like a pit bull.
Yeah, because even the person he had won the WBC youth belt from had never been stopped before.
Actually, they was questioning Jalil's dad. Said, "Why y'all taking this fight? This kid might be too much for Jalil." You know, a lot of words was going around. Evidently, they didn't know who Jalil was. You know, he broke him down and stopped him there. What round was that? Third round. But it was supposed to have been too much for Jalil. Man, Jalil got that gas.
Man, when he work your body, it's a wrap.
He don't go out and sit in the ring and waste a lot of time. Ain't no such thing as a warm-up round with Jalil Hackett. And that bell ring, he coming.
He coming hard.
He coming. Believe that. If you ain't ready, you better get ready.
Young guys at 140. I ain't gotta bring Tank up there. I can bring him down. So guess what? I can have 47 and 40. He can get the 40, y'all. Right, brother? We gonna pack that shit you doing.
And the things that you're doing, man. Talk about your relationship with Coach Calvin, Coach Kenny, and why that's so special.
I love them guys, man. You know, that whole up the family, you know, from the amateurs up there to the pros, man. It's a family atmosphere for sure. You know, from the time, you know, in the amateurs, you know, it's been times where Coach Calvin and Coach Kenny had to work my corner at tournaments to shit the pros. Like, my first 2 fights of last year, I was working with Coach Calvin and Coach Kenny. So it's like, you know, that family atmosphere up there is unreal. I learned a lot from them guys, and you know, I'm gonna continue to learn from them.
What's some of the things, man, that you want to work on going into your next fight? Because I know you always get them calls from like Bozy and them who look at your fights, man. Any things that encouragement words and things that they say they want to see out of you?
A lot of it is just, you know, little small critiques. You know, the small things become big things after a while. So it's just little things that they see that they say, all right, if you change this, this will happen. If you change that, that'll happen. And it's just like those little things, you know, they tell me, but I'm more of a visual learner. So I love when like I get the chance to go to camp with those guys and they can show me. So like now I go back and use some of the things that they told me and I get the results that I want.
You know, that's a good point, man. Who are some of the people, man, that you enjoy sparring with, man? It's always good sparring when y'all link up.
I love getting work like with Boots. Like, I'm not saying that I don't be on my A game with other guys, but like with Boots, it's like you gotta like,
stay on high alert, huh?
Yeah, it's like you almost gotta go in there with like the mentality as if like you get ready for a fight. Like you gotta keep your defense sharp, all that, because he a rare breed. Like,
that's a great point, man. Because in sparring, that's what he does. He actually simulates like a real fight. So
yeah.
you if you don't get in there with your A game, it could be a long couple of rounds for you.
He definitely special, and you know, up there at the Bozy Dungeon, man, you know, they do the 4-minute rounds. And I seen this dude do some hell of a things in that ring. Yeah, I seen him slip 10 punches. I seen him slip 10 punches, and like 4 of the punches was body shots. I ain't never seen nobody slip no body shot. He did that shit.
Now, did you get a chance to see Andy Cruz up there while you was up there?
Yeah, no.
Now, what's your thoughts, man? I know it's a matchup. I don't know if it'll ever happen. Him and Keyshawn, how you see that going if they was to ever match up?
I don't know. You know, like we all know, the amateurs and pro boxing, they almost like 2 different sports. So it's like, I don't know. Keyshawn looked real good in his last fight. You know, Andy looked good in his last fight. So, you know, we'll only know, you know, only time will tell.
What was your thoughts on the Keyshawn call out of Teo?
Teofimo been doing a lot of talking lately. So, hey, I go up to 140 and fight Teofimo. What's up? Get this win tonight. Teofimo, you already know how I'm coming. You and your father. So let's set it up. Let's set it up. I'll come straight to 140. I'll come straight to 140. Let's go. Let's go. And if you scared Teofimo, Nagarate. Nagarate is a hell of a fighter. Hats off to Nagarate. It'll be an honor to get in the ring with you at 135 after he captures WBO title. So let's.
You know, a lot of us young fighters, us young guns, we on these guys' line, man. Like we on their line heavy, and it's like that's what we supposed to do. Like you press the action till you get it. Teo made a valid point though. You know, he said, you know, I'm a undisputed champ. You know, you gotta
Get a belt.
get where I'm at. Get a belt first. And I respect his reply.
I respect that. I ain't
respect
gonna
that
lie.
reply. But when Keyshawn do get a situation where like he got a belt, then he could double back and be like, well, I got a belt now. You told me to get a belt. And then then they go from there.